This video covers taking off underground branch circuiting as opposed to feeder underground. Feeder underground would be things like your primary and your secondary feeders. This is going to cover the branch circuiting part, which will be things like your parking lot lighting and your landscape lighting. There's a separate video on the feeder takeoff. So the first thing we need to know is the type of conduit and the size of conduit. We also need to know the quantity of wires in the conduit, as well as the type and the size of wire. When we do the measurements, which you'll see in just a minute here, we're basically going to just measure from point to point, including the home runs. So the setup will look like this. On the EBM screen over here on the left, and we've got the electronic takeoff over here on the right. I've already got it set up for 3/4 inch with 4 number 10s, so we're ready to measure. Just click this button to measure. Go from here to here, here. Now this is the home run back to the panel. We've got some more runs over here with the 4 wires. Now you'll notice that most of these runs, if you zoom in a little bit, have 4 hash marks. That means there's 4 wires there. There's a few down here with 5 wires, so we're going to take those off separately. Let's get the rest of the 4 wire runs down here. Okay, now we're going to record that for now. It'll put the length back here. The next thing we need to do is count the runs. A run is simply when you go from point to point. Think of it like a segment going from point A to point B. Now we need the number of runs entered so we can pick up our terminations of the conduit as well as the elbows. And I think I've got them all. Just make a quick little check. It looks good. Okay, so I'm going to record that. Now the next thing we need to do is put the number of elbows in. If there's 14 runs, we're going to need 28 elbows. And then for the trenching, we basically need to know what type of trenching we're going to use, whether it's going to be hand dug with a trencher or a ditch witch, or whether it's going to be a backhoe. And then we also need to select the trench width and depth, as well as the backfill width and depth. So again, from EBM, when we go to the trench tab, we hit select items. We go to trenching and excavation. We're going to do a ditch witch, and we're going to do 6x24. Now it puts the length in automatically. So all we have to do is hit OK. And then for the backfill and compaction, same dimensions, 6x24. And again, it puts the length in automatically. We'll complete this entry by hitting takeoff. So the process is pretty simple. After you've done the measurements, you count the runs. You can either manually put in the number of elbows at 2 per run. We did 14 runs, so we had 28 elbows. You could also count them electronically. And then you repeat it for the rest of the types of trenching. So let's go do the other trenching that has 5 wires. So all we do is change it to 5 wires here. Everything else is the same. Hit the button to measure. Go from point to point to point. And then again, the home run back to the panel. We'll record that. And then again, we're going to count runs. That was 3 runs there. Record it. And then for the trenching, after we put in the elbows, we'll put in 6 elbows. Again, you can count those manually like we're doing here, or you can count them electronically on the drawing. A nice little shortcut here, when we go to the trench tab, Since we're going to use the same type and dimensions of trenching, we just hit recall last. We do have to update the quantity, the length. So we'll round that off to 281. And that completes the entry. So that's going to give us all the material, the conduit, the wire, and the fittings, as well as the labor to install that conduit, wire, and fittings, and the labor to dig the ditch and to backfill and compact it.